In the vast expanse of the Namibian desert, a peculiar and mystifying phenomenon has baffled scientists and explorers for decades. They're called fairy rings, and they've become a subject of intrigue and speculation. These concentric circles of lifeless vegetation, inexplicably scattered across the desert, have been drawing curious minds like moths to a flame. Over the years, numerous theories have been proposed, each more fascinating than the last. Some suggest these rings are the result of underground gases surfacing, leaving behind a trail of desolation. Others propose that perhaps it's the work of industrious termites, their subterranean activities causing the vegetation above to wither and die. Then there are those who believe it's a case of plant competition, with stronger plants choking off the weaker ones, creating these barren circles. Each theory is compelling, each plausible in its own right, but the truth remains elusive. Yet, despite the multitude of theories, the enigma of the fairy rings remains unsolved. To truly unravel the mystery, one must delve deeper into the peculiarities of these fairy rings. Now let's dissect the physical attributes of these enigmatic circles. Their size, for example, is nothing short of baffling. The average fairy ring stretches about 10 feet in diameter, but some can span as wide as 65 feet. Imagine that, a circle of dead vegetation, as broad as a blue whale is long. Yet, despite this variance in size, they all maintain a nearly flawless circular shape, as if drawn by some unseen hand. And the consistency of this shape is another wonder. Whether they're 10 feet or 65 feet in diameter, the rings remain strikingly round. It's as if some massive compass has been used to etch these circles into the earth. This consistency against the backdrop of the arid, windswept desert is a phenomenon that leaves scientists scratching their heads. But the mysteries don't end here. These fairy rings are not found just anywhere. They are unique to certain parts of the Namibian desert. Specifically, they appear in areas of sandy soil where vegetation is sparse and the climate is harsh. Why these rings choose to appear in these particular areas and not elsewhere is a question that continues to puzzle researchers. To add another layer to the intrigue, the vegetation within these rings is not just scarce, it's completely absent. The interior of these rings is as barren as a moonscape, while the vegetation just outside the circle flourishes, forming a stark contrast that is both beautiful and eerie. These distinct characteristics, the size and consistency of the circles, their unique geographical location, and the stark contrast between the barren insides and the lush outsides, all combine to make the fairy rings a truly fascinating enigma. Each attribute adds another piece to the puzzle. Each piece stirs more questions than answers. These distinct characteristics only deepen the enigma, making the fairy rings an even more intriguing puzzle to solve. Over the years, numerous theories have been proposed in an attempt to explain these inexplicable circles. Among the most notable is the termite theory. This idea posits that subterranean termites are the architects of these circles, nibbling away at the vegetation and creating these distinct patterns. The supporters of this theory point to the frequent presence of these insects around the rings as evidence. Contrastingly, another popular explanation revolves around the concept of plant competition for water resources. This theory suggests that the plants themselves are responsible for the rings. The struggle for scarce water resources in the harsh desert environment forces the vegetation to grow in a certain pattern, resulting in these peculiar circles. Adherents of this theory often cite the distribution of vegetation around the rings as indicative of this fierce competition. But like many mysteries, each theory has its champions and its critics. Some argue that the termite theory doesn't account for the rings found in areas devoid of termites, while others question whether plant competition can truly lead to such uniform and precise circles. This divergence in opinion only adds to the intrigue of the fairy rings. Each proposed explanation presents a new layer to the puzzle, a fresh perspective that brings us closer to and yet somehow further from the truth. As the debate continues, the fairy rings remain a captivating mystery, an enigma that continues to tantalize and bewilder. In the end, the fairy rings of Namibia stand as a testament to the enduring mysteries of nature. Even with our vast scientific knowledge, there are phenomena that elude explanation, adding to the allure of our natural world. These intriguing circles of dead vegetation scattered across the Namibian desert continue to baffle and fascinate us. They symbolize the countless enigmas we've yet to unravel. As we continue to explore and understand, the fairy rings serve as a humbling reminder that nature always has more secrets to reveal.